All right, Paul. So first lesson there yesterday. As I was saying, it was kind of a bit of a mishmash of everything, and we'll get a bit more focused later on. So I just kind of wanted to get a sense of where you're at with it now. So chords first, anyway. So you've got you know all the basic ones. So we've got A major. So they're all on the second fret like that. C major. D major. I'll send you the diagrams for all of these anyway. So E major and G. Then A minor, D minor, slightly less common one. Then of course E minor. And we were talking as well about how the way to get the other major and minor chords, because there's 12 of each, right? There's 12 major chords, 12 minor chords. And the way to get them is if you, let's say you wanted a G minor, right? Which we don't have a shape for. So what you do is you take your E minor shape with your little fingers, right? So third and fourth fingers there. So it should sound exactly the same. Then up by one. So there's A to G. The notes are A to G. They all have a sharp one fret or one semitone above, except for B and D. So B just goes straight to C. E just goes straight to F. But everything else, it's F goes to F sharp, then G sharp, then cycle back around to A again. So we're starting off on E minor here. Next one up, bar it where the nut would be, okay? So you're kind of replacing the nut or a capo with your first finger, basically. F minor, F sharp minor, G minor. Okay, and then moving on up, G sharp minor, A minor. And then, of course, if I leave this high note out and do the normal one, exactly the same. Okay, so then we just kind of went through a couple of little techniques that'll really just are there just to kind of spice things up more than anything. So, for example, we had a pull-off, which was just pick a note and then drag your finger off of it. Hammer on. So you're just, let's say this is open second string. Oh yeah, by the way, this is the first string, sixth string, as opposed to the other way around. Then you've got your open B string. Try not to hit other strings in the process like I just did, but... So what trick to that one is, you need to give yourself a decent bit of clearance and really come down hard and snappy on it. And then the third one was a slide. So the trick there is just to keep the pressure on as you're dragging it up and down. So we had, a couple of little phrases like, okay, so that's third fret on the first string, pull off, third fret on the second string, pull off, and then on the second string, drag it from third fret to fifth fret. And you're not looking for speed with something like that. It doesn't have to be, it can just be, what matters about it is that all the notes are in proportion with each other. So what you don't want is something like, there's kind of big gaps between moves. It should be kind of slow, controlled, steady. That's what you're after. Another one we had was... That's open, fifth string. You're basically hammering on the E minor chord here. So open fifth string to second fret, open fourth string to second fret, open sixth, and then hit the rest of the chords. So. And the whole scale that's all based on is this, okay? So you've got open to 3, open 2, open 2, open 2, open 3, there we go again, and open 3. So once again, from the sixth string, it's open to third fret. You hit the open every time first, then third fret, open to second, 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 third, third. So just kind of, try, obviously the chords are the most important thing, but just try going up and down that scale a couple of times because it really does help, mobility. And, it's just a different approach to kind of spice things up a little bit. So then finally, on to strumming. So we were talking about how a kind of a default for you, and that it is for a lot of people as well, is that kind of calypso pattern. course, you're not playing it like that, right? So it's just you're constantly moving the whole time, down, skipping the up, down, up, skipping the down, and going up, down, up, right? So you're kind of doing all that without thinking about it, which is the way to go. Obviously, you don't want to be kind of always breaking things down in your head. But as a way of kind of expanding on that and, learning a couple more and learning how to vary those strum patterns a bit, what's happening, it's important to know that what's happening is your hand is moving just down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up constantly with no variation at all, except for the fact that you're not necessarily hitting all of the strokes. You're not always hitting the strings on your way past them, right? So if we take something simpler than that, then sort of something like 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 4, so emphasizing the 1 and the 3. So, and then just kind of miss them or hit them as you like. As I said, it doesn't really, there's generally not much point in rigidly sticking to a specific strumming pattern. No, nobody really does that. They kind of go and move with the general beat of the music and use their intuition for which ones they're going to hit, which ones they're going to miss, which ones they're going to underemphasize, overemphasize. We will do some specific strum patterns as a few examples, but they're only there as a guideline. As soon as you get the hang of them, you just start varying them up and just play them however you like, really, by just missing certain strokes, hitting some of them, maybe only hitting the bass strings on some of them, and then only the treble on other ones. So like, let's say if we take that calypso pattern and then only hit certain strings. So I'm hitting on the first two notes, I'm hitting just the first 3 or so strings just to get that bong, bang, and then on the up, I'm hitting the first 2 strings, 2 or 3. Again, you don't need to be specific about it. But make sure you vary it up, right? Just recognize that you've got that regular motion and you can hit or miss any one of them, right? So if we start off like this, then just change it. And in the back of your head, what you want to have going on is 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. And if you're moving along with that, hitting them and missing them, you can't go wrong. Because everything you do, because you're moving to that rhythm, every one you hit or miss will be kind of on the grid. It'll be in rhythm. So that's so again, all a bit scattered at the moment, but next lesson we're gonna kind of focus in on more specific things. So this is just to kind of get a general feel of where we're at now and where we could go. So right, I'll see you then.